Quarterly planning is upon us, and it doesn't have to take forever. You don't have to spend weeks creating an elaborate plan for your quarter because, let's face it, the more elaborate the plan, the more likely it is to fail. Instead, you need a fast way to plan your quarter so that you can get back to serving students, to creating new modules, to revising your emails and your messaging for your business. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps that I take my clients through and use for my business. With limited hours to work each week, we really have to be focused on action rather than on planning. If we spend all of our time planning, nothing will change. We never get to where we want to be. Instead, let's focus on creating a strategy that generates action.
Anyone can add a digital course to their business. So what sets the 6-figure course creators apart? You're about to find out. Welcome to the Digital Course Creator Podcast with Dr. Maura, a longtime entrepreneur now using her PhD in psychology to help you go from sticky notes to sales worth celebrating.
Now, over the next 2 weeks, I am sitting down with digital course creators who want to make sure that the next quarter is productive and effective for their business. Are you curious to know how much time it's going to take for us to create those plans for their entire quarter? 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour on Zoom with really focused conversations, and we'll have a plan that is designed to generate momentum. I am so passionate about helping digital course creators design a solid quarterly plan quickly because I've been on the long and tedious planning side of things and seen how it just flops. In fact, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, be sure to check out the picture of one of my meticulous planning sessions that is very much a work of art. I hope you'll appreciate it. And you'll notice that there are tasks assigned by day for each month with my objectives in mind. And you know what? About 5% of that beautiful planning actually happened. Hours of work for no results. Compare that now to last quarter's plan where I hit 100% of my objectives. I don't have anything to show you because that entire plan fit on a standard sticky note. Just a regular normal size sticky note. The entire plan for the quarter. Now, I'm not advocating planning your quarter without thought. I'm advocating a highly focused process that keeps us in motion instead of stagnating with indecision. Of the 3 steps that I'm going to share with you today, step 2 can really trip up creators because we have so many ideas. So at the end of today's episode, I am going to share with you my process for keeping step 2 in check and doable. Are you ready to get started? All right, here we are. When planning your quarter quickly, first up is to think about your revenue goals. This might make you cringe, especially if you are in the beginning stages of business where revenue isn't exactly rolling in and money is not growing on trees. But give me a second here. Imagine that you're building a course and you have a lot of ideas for what to include in the course. The course grows and it grows and it grows. And you are constantly recording new modules and videos. You're creating new worksheets and wondering when the course will ever be done. This is so common because we love to deliver on our course promise, and that so often feels like we need to deliver a ton of content. So what happens? Well, we delay our course launches, we limit who gets to see what we've already created, and we give ourselves rules about what still has to happen for the course to go live. Without clear revenue goals, we don't have any urgency to get things done and delivered or launched. So the first step of quarterly planning is to decide on a revenue goal. If you are a more established business, this revenue goal is probably feeling a little bit easier to calculate and set. But if you're a newer business, really just getting revenue going, what I would encourage you to do is look at what revenue you brought in last quarter and then think about what bump you'd like for this quarter, while taking into account how much time you have to spend on your business. If you are still full-time in another job, or maybe you're a homeschooling mom like I am, or you have a part-time job, or you just want this to be a part-time gig in general, take all of that into account and don't assume that you can bump up your income by 500% if you only have 2 hours a week to work. So do be realistic in your revenue goal. A revenue goal doesn't have to actually be any higher than the previous quarter. It can be exactly the same. The key here is to know what your expectations are up front so that you can stay really focused with your energy. Now, step 2 to fast quarterly planning after setting revenue goals is to form limited focus that will help you get to that goal. What do I mean here? Well, one of the biggest mistakes that I see course creators make when choosing where to focus during their quarterly planning is to choose too many things to focus on. We are often overly ambitious. And while that can provide really good motivation to keep working, it ends up creating overwhelm and disappointment when those objectives are not met. This does not mean that I'm suggesting that you create focus areas that are just super simple, surface level, and will be accomplished in the first 2 weeks of the quarter. That's not what I'm saying. What I am suggesting here is that you don't load yourself down with so many different focus areas that nothing gets accomplished. If you are in the stage of building your course, your focus might be to get all of your student resources built and modules recorded. That's it. It isn't to build your entire launch funnel, your email sequences, to plan your social media runway, to write your entire webinar or challenge, and to learn a new course platform on top of that. It's tempting to think that we have to do everything at once because of that revenue goal from step 1, but it isn't. And at the end of today's episode, I'm going to share my favorite way to make sure that course creators don't get overloaded with too many things to focus on in a quarter, and also what I think the magic number is of what you should focus on. But for now, remember that each step we take in our business is either moving us toward or away from our revenue goals. If we have so many steps to focus on in a quarter that it leads to paralysis, that does not help us achieve our goals. If, however, we choose a limited number of things to focus on, we get to take action. We get to move toward the revenue goal. For example, this past quarter, I was revamping the format of this podcast and getting 2 new low-ticket offers created. Those were my sole areas of focus: podcast, low-ticket offers. By having these 2 areas as my focus, it was really easy to stay on track and not get diverted by other ideas and tasks and shiny objects, new courses that I wanted. When you stay limited with your focus, not only does it help you keep momentum going, but it also makes the planning process faster so that you aren't wasting weeks of the quarter just trying to get a plan down on paper. When you are setting out to plan your quarter quickly, doing it faster, it's critical to map out the opportunities to make your revenue goals a reality within the focus that you chose in step 2. For some quarters, this might mean connecting with people to make more sales. It might mean investing in a new program to help you take action on your focus area. And it could mean creating time in your schedule to do the work you need to do. Let me walk you through a few concrete examples. If you are a course creator looking to add $3,000 to your revenue in the next quarter, and you aren't planning to launch a course during that time, you might consider adding a new paid offer to your business. This might be a workshop, a template, it might even be a VIP day for select clients. This means that the focus should be on creating that revenue generating item and then looking for opportunities to promote it, to share it with your audience, to create interest. Let me give you another example. If you have a focus on broadening your reach, then an opportunity might be to seek out places to speak, maybe a luncheon, a symposium, maybe a conference. You have to find opportunities that align with the focus that you've chosen, and that focus aligns with your revenue goals. Finally, let me give you one last example. Consider that you're launching a course during a quarter, and that's your focus, and you're hoping to increase your launch revenue by 25%. This likely means that you need to bring in a bigger audience so that you have the chance to make more sales. So what opportunities can you seek out to bring in a bigger audience to your launch funnel? This might mean seeking out referral partners, using paid ads, or even using a new social media approach. These are all opportunities that feed the focus and ultimately the revenue goal. The key is to finding opportunities that keep that focus at the forefront and that will have you supporting your revenue goal. This is what helps us to stay away from shiny objects. It helps us stay away from squirrel moments that derail our attention from the needle-moving activities. As we head into a new quarter, your action item is to set a timer this week, give yourself no more than 1 hour, and create your plan for the next 3 months. Don't get stuck in the details. Instead, set a revenue goal, identify the area of focus or areas of focus that you'll need to have for that revenue goal to become a reality, and then identify the opportunities that you need to pursue for that focus to be fulfilled, and really for you to meet that potential that you have set out for yourself. This week, we have been talking all about creating a quarterly plan faster so that you can get momentum and take action rather than spending weeks just creating a plan that is likely to fall apart. As you've heard here on the Digital Course Creator Podcast, I'm openly sharing the lessons that I've learned, the tools, the tactics that I use personally, that I use with my clients, so that you can take them and become a 6-figure digital course creator. But here's what I've realized. All too often, the solutions that are designed to help you get to 6 figures, if you were to go to YouTube and look at those search results, they are going to focus primarily on marketing tactics. And although marketing is an important piece of the process, it's one I work with my clients on, success in business and in any area of life requires strategy in a number of different categories. We have to dig deeper. We have to get information from a variety of resources. And we're so lucky. We have books, podcasts, webinars, courses, challenges, all kinds of ways to get information these days. So it kind of makes us scratch our heads when we still struggle to reach our enrollment and our financial goals. Why do you think this happens? What I've realized is that whatever change we want in our lives, it's only about 10% of what we're learning, what we're reading, what we're studying, and it's 90% or more mindset. As a psychology professor and coach, I share as much as I can about mindset here on the show, but to truly thrive, we all need individualized attention, accountability, and support. So if you are ready to say yes to a thriving, financially solid business, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I hold at least 2 slots open on my calendar each week to help course creators take action, to dig into their purpose and create a strategic plan for growth so that they can get unstuck. These are free, no obligation calls. So if you are ready to make the next 12 months the year that you go from being uncertain about your course creation business to a 6-figure course creator, please grab a strategy call slot at CourseCalls.com. You'll also find the link in the show notes, but again, it's CourseCalls.com. Now, in today's 60-second solution, I want to share with you the trick I use for not putting all of the ideas that I have running through my brain down onto my quarterly plan. Because although that plan would look impressive, it would take a lot of time to build and would ultimately fail. So what's the solution? Choose a maximum of 3 areas of focus for the quarter. I routinely choose 2. Some of my clients choose 1. The key here is the max of 3. So what do you do with all of the other ideas? Jot them down on a separate piece of paper. And when you finish all of your quarterly goals, when you have met your revenue goals for your quarter, then go back to this magic list. This is your grab bag of ideas of how to spend the rest of your quarter. By writing all of these ideas down, you kind of release yourself. You don't have to think about them. You don't have to remember them. You don't have to worry over them. They're there on a list for when you're ready. That is my favorite way to stay focused on the most important areas of business, especially during that quarterly planning process. And if you want more quick solutions for building a successful digital course business and creating magnetic messaging, hit follow now.